Hey guys, and welcome to this new series. So the liturgical year is coming to an end and we are entering into Advent. So what this series will be about is a reflection on what each week of Advent symbolizes. And so today we start with hope. Hope gives us joy. When we have hope in someone or something, we are expecting something good to come out of that person or something. There's also been times when the hope that we have had in someone has been crushed. Instead of receiving joy and happiness, we've received anger and bitterness. We've felt betrayed. And so this leads us to question ourselves, where is our hope? Or what is our hope in? And so we can have hope in family, in friends, in brothers and sisters. But whenever we have hope in another human being, we must also expect to be disappointed at sometimes. And there's one simple reason for this. It is because they are human. It is part of our human nature to disappoint. Although that sounds awful, and although we don't want to disappoint, even in our hearts, when we have the intentions to do good for someone, sometimes we come to realize that actually we can at times do more damage than good. So what should we have our hope in? We should have our hope in someone who will never let us down, someone who will never betray us, someone who is never changing, someone whom we can trust completely and know 100% that when we put our hope in this person, we will receive joy. And that person is Jesus Christ. In our lives, at times, we may feel abandoned. We may feel that there is no hope. People around us may tell us that we are hopeless, that there's no way out. But the minute we decide to put all our hope in Jesus, things will start to unfold. The things that seemed impossible start to become possible. All those dead ends will start to become open again. That is the reward that we receive for having our hope in Christ. And if we are to look into the scriptures, I think the story of Lazarus is a perfect example. So what happens? Jesus receives a message that Lazarus is ill and he's dying. And so what happens? Jesus, he doesn't go there immediately, but he waits. He waits 4 days actually until he goes to see Lazarus. And when Jesus meets Lazarus, meets Martha and Mary, Martha runs up to Jesus and says, Jesus, if you were here earlier, Lazarus would have been alive. So what does that show? That shows that Martha had hope in Jesus, that she trusted Jesus and she believed that Jesus could do something. But when Jesus didn't return or come to her at the time that she expected, her heart broke. She thought that her hope was broken. She thought that there was no longer any hope left. But then Jesus said, open that tomb. And when that tomb was open, Jesus commanded, Lazarus, come out. And Lazarus came out. So when Jesus had done that, I'm sure that all that hope that Martha thought she had lost had immediately come back. And so sometimes we may feel that even when we have our hope in Jesus, we may feel that there's this abandonment, that he's not there, that he can't see us, or he's not even listening to us. But trust me, Jesus sees everything. And so we can have our hope in him. We can trust him. Even when we feel like we are in a turmoil in our problems, we can trust that Jesus is seeing and that he has a solution. The solution may not always be at the time we expect it to be, but Jesus has a time. He knows when to do the things that he needs to do. So let us have our hope in him. Jesus will never fail us. His love is unchanging, and there's always certainty when we have hope in Christ. In a previous video, I've mentioned my story to you guys, and I've told you about how this youth retreat had ultimately changed me. But let me tell you guys one thing. The talks were amazing. The worship was amazing. But what had ultimately won me over was knowing that not all hope is lost, and that I can put all my hope in Christ, and that there is actually someone out there that I can trust and be certain about, and that is Jesus. You see, that minute we decide to put all our hope in Christ, all that joy that we have felt, that we have lost, we will find it again. So to have hope in Christ is to find joy in our lives once again. Thank you so much, guys, for listening. Have a great Sunday, and until next time, God bless.